The situation in Taraba has taken a very serious turn. And this is one of those stories that reminds us how close danger can be, even when people think everything is under control. Reports reaching us show that a well-known bandit leader operating around remote areas of Taraba State has suffered a major setback. And the shocking part of this story is how it happened. According to information from the field, security forces were able to locate a hidden weapon storage area after receiving inside information that pointed directly to the location. This was not random. This was detailed information that only someone very close to the bandit network could have known. As the operation unfolded, soldiers moved carefully, knowing that any wrong step could put lives at risk. When they finally reached the location, what they found confirmed long-standing fears many residents had been quietly living with. Several weapons were recovered, including rifles and other dangerous items that had clearly been kept for violent operations. This discovery alone is a big deal, because every weapon taken out of circulation means fewer attacks on innocent people, fewer kidnappings, and fewer nights where families sleep with fear. Now, this is where the story becomes even more sensitive. Information linked the breakthrough to the bandit leader's wife. Yes, someone from inside the circle, someone who had lived close to the operations, seen the movements, and knew where things were kept. For many people following this story, this is hard to understand. Some see it as betrayal. Others see it as a desperate attempt to escape a dangerous life. Some believe fear played a role, while others think conscience finally spoke up. The truth is, when people live around violence for too long, it changes them in ways we may never fully understand. Please, if you are finding this story interesting so far, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and continue bringing you clear and reliable stories like this. Residents in nearby communities have reacted with mixed feelings. Some people feel relieved, believing this development could finally bring peace to areas that have suffered for years. Others are still cautious because they have seen operations before that did not fully end the problem. For them, the question is simple. Will this be a turning point or just another chapter in a long struggle? What makes this case important is not just the weapons that were recovered, but the message it sends. It shows that security forces are tightening the net. It shows that criminal networks are under pressure. And most importantly, it shows that information is becoming harder for these groups to control. When trust breaks down inside such groups, everything starts to fall apart. For a long time, bandit groups have relied on secrecy, fear, and loyalty to survive. They hide in difficult terrain, store weapons in remote places, and depend on people around them to stay silent. But once silence is broken, even once, the entire structure becomes weak. That is what many analysts believe we are seeing now in Taraba. Again, if you are just joining us, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss important updates like this one. Another angle to this story is the human cost. Many women and children connected to these groups live under constant pressure. They may not always support the actions being taken, but fear keeps them trapped. In situations like this, cooperation with authorities can be a way out, a chance for safety, or even a chance to protect innocent lives. This does not excuse crimes, but it helps us understand the complex reality behind the headlines. Security experts have often said that military action alone is not enough. Intelligence, community cooperation, and trust are just as important. This operation appears to support that view. Without detailed information, finding hidden weapon locations in such vast areas would be extremely difficult. That is why this development is being talked about widely. People in Taraba are now watching closely to see what happens next. Will more arrests follow? Will other hideouts be discovered? Will attacks reduce? These are the questions on everyone's mind. For farmers, traders, and families who have been affected, peace is not just a word. It is the ability to go to the farm, travel the road, and sleep at night without fear. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps this platform going. As the investigation continues, authorities are expected to dig deeper into the network, identify other members, and prevent any form of regrouping. This is important because history has shown that when pressure reduces too early, criminal groups try to reorganize. Sustained action is key. There is also a wider lesson here for the country. When communities cooperate with security agencies, results can be achieved faster. Silence protects crime. Information protects lives. This case, as sensitive as it is, highlights that truth clearly. The ripple effect of what has happened in Taraba is already being felt beyond the immediate area. When a key figure in a criminal network is exposed this way, it creates panic inside the system. People begin to question who can be trusted, who might speak next, and whether their hideouts are still safe. This kind of internal fear is something security experts say is very effective because it weakens coordination and slows down planning. Once that fear sets in, mistakes happen, and mistakes lead to arrests. For many months, communities around these areas have lived with uncertainty. Roads that were once busy became quiet. Markets closed earlier than usual. Parents worried each time their children stepped out. So when news like this breaks, it brings a mix of hope and caution. Hope that things may finally change, and caution because people have learned not to celebrate too early. What stands out in this story is the role of close relationships. Criminal groups often believe that family ties guarantee loyalty, but real life is more complicated than that. Fear, pressure, regret, or even concern for children can change decisions. Living close to danger every day can push someone to look for a way out, even if that decision comes at a high personal cost. Please, if this discussion is making sense to you, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It really helps us reach more people. Another important point is the message this sends to other groups operating in similar ways. It tells them that no matter how hidden they think they are, information can still reach security forces. It tells them that the walls they trust may not be as strong as they believe. This kind of psychological impact is just as important as physical operations. At the same time, authorities must handle situations like this carefully. When insiders cooperate, their safety becomes a serious concern. Proper procedures, lawful handling, and protection are crucial. This helps encourage others who may have information to speak up, knowing that the system will treat them fairly. We must also talk about the role of ordinary citizens. Many times, people see or hear things but stay quiet out of fear. That fear is understandable. But stories like this show that information, when passed through the right channels, can save lives. It can prevent attacks before they happen. It can stop weapons from reaching the wrong hands. As investigations continue, security forces are expected to map out supply routes, identify collaborators, and monitor movement patterns. This is how lasting impact is achieved, not just through one successful operation, but through consistent follow-up. Please remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. There is also a wider national conversation around rehabilitation and prevention. While enforcement is necessary, long-term peace depends on addressing the reasons young people are drawn into violent groups. Lack of opportunity, fear, and misinformation often play a role. If these issues are not addressed, new groups may emerge even as old ones are dismantled. For now, people in Taraba are watching closely. They want to see reduced attacks. They want to see safer roads. They want to see children return to school without fear. They want to see normal life return. This single development will not solve everything, but it can be a strong step in the right direction if followed through properly.